All right. Hello everyone to another Forts FPL stream. Of course, with the 3-minute delay. Right now, you're seeing the pick and ban between Silk Road and Mid Alles Chef. I'm going to break it down just in a sec. Still have to do something. Let's... Okay, I am kind of retarded right now, but it's whatever. All right, let's see what we have here. So, Silk Road is Louis, and I think it was 7891, I believe, a Chinese team. Wait, let me. Yeah, I think it was 7891, but I could be wrong. We're gonna have to see. Mid Chef is Nanuki or Finn with Klaualis. Should be a team that is known by now. And a German team. So we see the Chinese teams banning high seas. So we're not gonna see any kind of ship action. Mid Alles Chef is gonna ban caverns and up and down. I mean, yeah, there's nothing real to say. I guess they do not want to have... Yeah, nothing much to say to that, really. It's not comfortable on those picks, I guess, against their opponents. Then Mid Alles picks Snow Leopards, and Silk Road picks Heavy Rain. Yeah, so Heavy Rain is a very heavy eco map. And I presume that the Chinese are better with more eco, as their playstyle is very slow, and with very slow game style, aggressive game style, of course, can be dangerous. But when you have a lot of eco, tier 1 fast aggression does get shut down pretty quickly. Other hand, on Snow Leopards, I feel like is a pick. It's gonna be interesting. I'm not really sure what the plan here is. I basically know that the Chinese do like to play Warthog double nukes on that map, but we're gonna have to see. Then we have Green Breeze and Wingman banned for Mid Alles, and Silk Road banning Boonies and Stalactites. And as a decider, we have Vanilla 2v2. Probably no favorites there. I'm probably gonna lean slightly to a Mid Alles Chef win here on this matchup. Commanders still are not getting banned. Still waiting to see. Okay. Well, what could be good commander bans for the Chinese? I mean, I'm not really sure, because I feel like against the German team here, it's very hard to ban a good commander, because they basically play everything. So Hurricane is banned, yeah, not bad. But I don't think that Hurricane is such a good commander ban. Yeah, so we see Architect ban pretty fast here from the German team. That is because we already know, as I've said, the Chinese teams do tend to have a slower playstyle. Architect does fit their MO, so that's why we're gonna have Architect banned. He has a Hurricane, I don't know. I guess because on the Heavy Rain, Snow Leopards, even on Vanilla, a Hurricane is not that great of a commander really. But I guess they just didn't want to deal with a rush per se. And that's probably it. And yeah, now we're gonna have to wait till the lobby is open. We're gonna have to see here who's gonna host first, because with the Chinese ping, it is of course very hard to play with that. Silence for now in this Discord. Can probably switch over to the forts side. So about this matchup, I'm pretty sure if Nanuki does play up to their expectations, this should be a pretty should be a good advantage over to the German team, just because Clavalis is the GOAT. He is the GOAT, in my eyes at least. And about for the Chinese, they're gonna have to see. I feel like Heavy Rain is a very good pick for them. It's definitely in their map pool. On Snow Leopards, I feel like though the Chinese teams, both Chinese teams, are not that great. We've also, if anybody was coming over from the Baumstander stream, they will have seen a Snow Leopard, wait, I think it was the matchup against, that was Jame Time against, oh, excuse me, was Jame Time against, I believe, the other Chinese teams. I think it was Ruby and 9. Yes, so where they also played on Snow Leopards, and I'm not gonna spoiler, but it didn't win that well for the Chinese teams. At least saying for the strategy. Gonna be interesting to see if. Did I ever see the lobby? I'm just gonna hide screen real quick. Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see if this Chinese teams, Lewis and 7891, have a different approach to the map. Okay, so the first map, Snow Leopards, is going to be hosted. Yeah, so the first map is going to be hosted on the German side. So Snow Leopard's going to be played with a slight advantage to the German team. The lobby is... Where is the lobby? Yes, I guess Niels is gonna host the lobby. Okay, I guessed the password. That's great. Alright, let's switch screen again so you guys can see. Yeah, so it is 7891. Yeah. The thing is, we've seen Medalis Chef play on this map before, where they actually did pick Architect, but now Architect is banned. So I'm probably guessing they're gonna pick Overdrive. Is probably the next best Eco Commander. Maybe Armadillo. It's also very good. Good all-rounder. But for the Chinese seems pretty oblivious for what they're gonna pick. Maybe... Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know. We're gonna just have to see. So we're gonna get a test. Ping test. Get the players a bit more used to the ping. As we see here, 230 and almost 500 ping. Okay, now it's stabilizing. Not really. So the average ping should lie around somewhere between 200 and 300, but I mean, Lewis's ping spikes here are pretty hefty. For the other side, it's pretty much no spikes. But Lewis's pings, I mean, maybe is on him, because 7891 is definitely not having any ping spikes or problems per se. Yeah. Are we gonna have to change a host? Okay, so Baumi hosts now, or is gonna host. I mean, I'm not gonna bother hiding the password because the password is not worthy of being hidden. Lewis having, I don't know, birds goofing around. I think Baumi doesn't know who plays for the Chinese side. Okay, no, he knows. He knows. And another test. Yippee! Yeah, let's look at the ping. And now, surprisingly, I mean, the ping went up for both Lewis and 7891, but Lewis is still having some massive ping spikes here. Yeah, I don't think Baumi... I think Baumi is also streaming right now, so it's not ideal for him to host. Also, let me just... I'm gonna need that screenshot. I don't know, Lewis is just does have bad internet, sadly. For some unbeknown reason. What are we doing, bro? Yeah, I don't know. Why are we still in this lobby? It is clearly just Lewis having these massive ping spikes. So he's probably just gonna have to... Yeah, he's probably just gonna have to play with it. As bad as it seems, but that is just a disadvantage on living on another continent. And having bad internet, of course. Yes, I'm not quite sure. About this matchup, and Nanuki in this match, Nanuki is gonna probably be the deciding factor here for Team Alishev. Yeah, so we're gonna have to see how he plays. But Lewis, what is going on? Just crashed, I guess. Yeah, it's gonna be a hard time for Lewis. Also, I'm pretty sure Lewis plays bottom base on the map, which tends to go for howitzers, like a howitzer battle on bottom base. So shotgunning with ping spikes is very dangerous and not much fun. But we're gonna start anyways. Let's see here. Alright. So yeah, so we have Lewis on the bottom base, 7891 on the top base. Playing as Spook. It's not a bad commander, but on this map there are definitely better alternatives. While on the right hand side here we have Team Alishev, Nanuki on the bottom base and Clawless on the top base, playing as Firebird. Firebird. Yeah, so we're probably gonna see Mortars. Is my guess. Getting some early aggro into the game. It's definitely not the bad choice against the Chinese. Just because they know that it's not Architect, so they're not gonna fill up the active. Of course, it could still be Overdrive, but it is not quite as dramatic. See here some early sniping from both top bases. Yeah, so it looks like everybody's gonna get their heavy eco. We see already some slight differences in the build order for the top bases. 7891 here placing his pink tech first and then his upgrade center, while Clawless is building the upgrade center first and then placing his pink tech. Still not quite sure which one is better. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't make that much of a difference, but I do believe that placing upgrade center first does allow or gives you more resources to go for some kind of early aggro, like shotgunning. Two shotguns from top base are very strong on this map, just because you can shoot down at the bottom turbines. Also, those are going to be exposed and can be punished that way. Question is if we're gonna see any shotguns. Okay, here we already see, yeah, it's gonna be mortars. Alright, and we see the factory out of the top base, 7891. Yeah, so we see already here 7811 is gonna have a better timing when it comes to tier 2, but Claudius upgraded 4 mines instead of 2, so he did invest a bit more into turbines, which made him slower in his build order, but it can work out. Actually, he's gonna go for munitions plant, but we see the fire mortars. Not quite expected. Gunner's actually trolling, and that turbine is gonna be lost. Yep. Getting some nice eco damage already. The incendiary mortars already, I mean, getting 2 turbines and forcing their enemies to build some anti-air. A very good trade. Utilizing their Firebird pick. And now we're gonna see the cannon tech here from bottom base out of Louis. And it's also a bit ahead against Nanuki, but Nanuki with the early aggression is probably gonna do some more damage and slow Louis down. I mean, those gunners are not doing their job that well. It's all open, so Nanuki is gonna punish. But we see a shotgun here from top base. That shotgun, I mean, from both actually. I don't see any value for Claudius with the shotguns. So actually, I know. Taking out the anti-air, so there's basically no anti-air left now for Team 1, and those incendiary mortars are gonna get some more value. It's very nice. While on the other hand, yeah, 7891 could shoot at Nanuki's turbines, but the angle isn't quite there, and he's trying to fix that. And I mean, you down to 1 turbine, I mean, you do not want to have 113 energy if you have 8 mines. So he's probably not gonna have going to have his munitions plant in usage, which is not quite good, because normally the perfect thing, of course, is in the perfect world where when you get the munitions plant, when it's finished, you instantly want to place the tier 2 weapon. Because if you don't place anything in around like 2 minutes while having the munitions plant, then there is the question if not spending that money on the tier 2 attack would have been more profitable in the long run. But now Firebird active, Gunners very annoying. I mean, the thing is though, there's not much anti-air on the field anyway, so the active is probably gonna get overlooked. I mean, 7891 now stacking 2 plasma beams in the woods here. While on the other hand, we have Claudius with 2 20 mils. 20 mils is very good in these kind of scenarios, especially when you are a Firebird, of course. Just with the active, it does a shit ton of damage. It's really disgusting. Now we're gonna see an active for Spook here. They're gonna have a quick look at their enemy spaces. So the first plasma online now, but the 20 minutes are gonna shoot first. Gonna get some normal eco damage, nothing drastic. But of course, with the advantages of 20 mils, it brings faster weapon timing, lower cost of course, while getting a lot of damage. mean, Luffy still... He's also probably gonna go for howitzers with the storages I'm seeing. Let's just swear. Actually, no, he's gonna go for 20 mils instead. Would have probably opted for an howitzer, but I mean, sure. It's not that big of a difference. Okay, so those two plasmas can probably just take out the 20 mils one by one, or create Door Snipe here. Okay, though, the plasma's not gonna go out, but if okay. I was gonna say, if 7891 didn't extinguish the fire in time, that could have been very massive for the right hand side. Yeah, but while that's all happening, I see a cannon and a howitzer placed down for Lewis. Yeah. I mean, the right hand side does have a shotgun up here. So, you're gonna have to see how the reflexes are for the right hand side here, if Flawless has those fast fingers. Yeah, I mean, the mortars are just keep coming through. But another beautiful door snipe here out of 7891, taking down the second 20 mil. But now Finn also starting to get some tier 2 weapons out. After gonna shoot at top base, as it seems. Oh, that plasma beam taking out the shotgun could be massive here. Now there's no Howie defense from the right hand side. Oh, taking out your own howitzer with a bus. Quite tragic. That could have done a lot of damage. Yeah, but now the howitzer is done for Lewis. Where is he gonna shoot at? He's gonna shoot in front. That is cannon follow-up? Don't think it's gonna do a lot of damage. But the howitzer is burning right now. That could go out. It's not being extinguished. That is gonna go out. I think that's a done deal for the howitzer. Oh yeah, and it even takes the cannon with it. Yeah, so that's basically 2k metal down the drain for Lewis. And with no tier 2 pressure, this is starting to drip down to Metallis chef. And those plasma beams hang on by a thread. Still stands, but the first one is going to be being sold off. I'm not sure if it's the right decision. Probably is. But we're gonna have to see. And I mean, this team dynamic here, the howitzer still didn't get quite the value it could have gotten in both of these volleys. Yeah, but now basically Team 1 weaponless, and with Spook you do not have that big of an comeback factor. So this is looking pretty dicey here. But of course, what Lewis is now going for buzzsaws, straight into here, aim perfectly, could lead to a kill, or a collapse. But as I say that, the buzzsaws are being taken out one by one. He's gonna replace them though, yeah. Because that's basically the only chance I see left hand side getting the advantage back. Next howitzer, this time is gonna come through. The plasma beam is very unprotected, but doesn't seem like Team 2 wants to fire yet. And now, Basshaus. Blue has definitely missed his chance here. Don't think it can get quite the same effect as before. Okay, this plasma probably just wants to go for door snipe. I mean, also the howitzer, I mean, the placement is very brave, to say the least, but going for a howitzer I don't think is the right choice here, because you need some pressure on the map again, and with a howitzer you get like a one-shot potential, but it's probably not worth it in the long run. But of course, if there's going to be a long run, it's also in question. Okay, mine's now exposed for top base. Portals were deactivated and taken out. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. For Team 1 here, there's no real hope at this point. I think the Basshaus were basically the last chance of getting a kill. And I mean, Anuki is just keep on stacking without floating much. So he's definitely playing up to his expectations or his potential. Another howitzer placed down for Lewis. I still don't like it. I mean, this howitzer could get so much more value. Okay, so now we're going for the core. Top weapon still didn't reload in time. Now the howitzer. Pending with the EMP very fast. Yeah, but it wouldn't have done any damage anyways, I presume. Next howitzer on bottom base. That is very unprotected. Under-defended here. Yeah, I don't know. Team on the right hand side, we probably just, if you just get some Basshaus here, it's a done deal for 7891. Howitzer comes through again. Now we're gonna shoot at Lewis. Oh, almost taking the kill. And is that the collapse? No, the howitzer. It is gonna fall down in the bottom expansion. And it's not the kill, but I mean, Lewis is chronically dead at this point. So no real threat anymore. That was quite the collapse. Yeah, but as for this map, it is pretty much a done deal. Now the core is open. That is gonna be it for Lewis. First of all, one is letting himself burn down, conceding the map. And with that, Team mit Alles Chef is gonna take the first map. 1-0 here. GG's. Yeah, so nothing really, not much to say for that map. We are gonna change host though. Now the Chinese are gonna have the ping advantage. I mean, about that map, could have been a bit more competitive, I would say. It felt pretty one-sided for the most part, but it just came down to the commander pick. Firebird just the better commander, especially against Spook. Oh yeah. Yeah, Emiya's not probably gonna host. Now on Heavy Rain. Heavy Rain is probably one of those maps where the Chinese players are gonna have their time in the sun. Because it's probably one of their best, maybe even the best map for them. Maybe behind Caverns, but I'd say it's probably in the top 3 in their map pool. There it is. Yeah, and for Team Alles Chef, I'd say it's not a bad map, but I feel like the experience on the map is gonna show itself. But who am I to judge? I'm already out. But now I get to cast these kind of matches, which is also pretty cool. Sadly, Backpackathon couldn't join me in today's cast. Yet again. Very sad. My man is actually employed. And here we see the premium password choice. We'll probably have to gonna kick that guy because Baumi is streaming right now, and if he's not in the lobby, I'm not sure how he is gonna stream the game. Yeah, okay. We're just gonna go into the ping test first. Okay, so we have only 200 ping. It's still manageable. It's still, yeah, it's pretty manageable. For the right hand side, we have 100 ping, so it's basically just a double for the left hand side. But Lewis again does have some spikes. Yeah, I don't know. Downloading too much hentai. Not good, not good. Looks to be fine, everything. So we're just waiting for Baumstander. Yeah, and there he is, and then we can start. Yes. Yeah, so this map, I'm gonna pick the Chinese to win. I'm gonna have to say we're gonna have to get a third map to see who takes this match. But of course, I'm open for surprises. Alright, what are we gonna see here? We are gonna see Overdrive against Moonshine. Huh. I mean, the clear advantage here does lie for Overdrive. Overdrive probably the best commander on this map. I don't really get the pick for Moonshine. I mean, yeah, if you're gonna cannon stack, which is the main thing on this map, on bottom base at least. I mean, also on top base nowadays. But I don't know. I feel like there's just better alternatives than picking Moonshine. Moonshine is not that aggressive. I mean, it buffs lasers, plasma beam. Not by much, but just a bit. And of course, the EMP EMP effect. So we're gonna have to see how it plays out. Overdrive, of course, is just a plain eco commander. Profits from a resource. Yes. How do you actually say that in English? Resource. I don't know. I'm having a blackout. So Overdrive only benefits, at least the active also, but also just benefits the mines and the turbines, not the core. So by having 8 mines on the bottom base, it is quite good. I mean, yet again, we have the build order. What do you say? The build order difference on the top base again, just like on last map. But this time on the bottom base, we see already a red tech and a upgrade center. So buses are quite strong on this map, just because chopping off this connection here is very easy. Also nowadays everybody just sells the metal, because red tech is just the worst tech in the long run. Not being able to place shotguns, EMPs or smokes. Okay, so we're gonna see both munitions plan on the top base. Question lies for me if we're gonna see Howie stick or cannon stick. Me personally, I would go for Howie stick. Just because you don't have that many weapon platforms. I mean, places where you can build the howitzer or weapons in general if you go for cannon tech. But we're gonna see some early aggression out of the right hand side. 2 buzzers placed down for 7-8-9-1 and a shotgun and an AP on top base from Lewis. But Clawalice does strike first, but no real damage. Didn't aim properly. Okay, so it's gonna get 1 turbine. But I mean, the AP sniper is probably just gonna take quick care of the shotgun. While the 2 buzzers could... I mean, they can definitely just disrupt the connection down here, but I don't see any more value for those 2 buzzers, especially after their first shot. But Finn is also spicing things up with 3 buzzers, and that can definitely punish 7-8-9-1 here on the bottom base, as he does not have a single metal placed in his entire base. So, shotgun is taken out by the AP sniper. Very well done here for 7-8-9-1, and that shotgun, though not least for now, still has a pretty good angle probably on those 2 turbines. Now we're gonna see the bus source. It's gonna take out one bus source, so it did get some value. At least more value as I expected. Now the reload. Now this is open again, but the buzzers are gonna be taken out. Okay, so lose. No, 7891 losing both of his buzzers. It's not that big of a loss, to be honest, just because there was nothing much you can get with those. Yeah, so that two buzzers could have. I don't think it could have been killed, but it definitely is gonna do some damage here, chopping off the bottom protection. And we see the first howitzer against the first cannon. Wow, that saw is massive. 7891 trying to catch his wood now, his wood spam, but now it just looks very ugly and he's gonna set it off, so there's no really benefit of catching that. Of course, if Nanuki had one more buzzer, it would have been worth it. And yeah. Yeah, so now it's two cannons against two howitzers. Yeah, and Nanuki just doing his usual weapon timing. But I mean, the thing is, I don't know, bro. He already floated 26k energy and didn't upgrade one single mine. While on the other hand, Lewis, bro, 7891 already has full upgraded mines. Even with overdrive, it's gonna be even out if he doesn't upgrade it, but pretty sure Nanuki is not gonna forget to upgrade his mines with overdrive. And we see the first cannon box, and it's gonna have a good angle on top base, I'm pretty sure, is where it's aimed at. But that's gonna give 7891 some freedom here. At least for defending his cannons, because Nanuki's not gonna have angles on this bottom expansion, I presume. No, that Bassa could have been massive here. Chopping off all of this and losing foundation nodes. So the first howitzer is ready for Clawalis. It cannot do quite a significant amount of damage yet, but I think if he gets the second one out, there is a possibility. The first shot is gonna take out the bottles and expose the first cannon. First active for left hand side. Not paying attention here. That shotgun could have taken out that howitzer projectile. And now Lewis has to act fast, because if he doesn't get the howitzer defense quite in time, he has to shoot down that howitzer with his cannon, but the cannon is still not reloaded as of yet. Claudius doesn't realize that. That's that window, and yeah, now lesson 891 stacking howitzers on the bottom connection. Probably realizes that Nanuki is just gonna shoot at top base for most of the time, and by building weapons down here, he basically doesn't have to spend any kind of resources towards defending his weapons. First howitzer is gonna come through. Cannon now expose. Sniper is there. Oh, but now is missing sniper shots. Unfortunate. But it's still very good damage. And the EMP comes through and is gonna destroy a portal. Not quite as punishing, just because Claudius doesn't actually have any cannons or weapons that are gonna go into those portals. Yeah, I mean, this howitzer, it's probably just gonna get taken out by those 5 gunners, or 4 gunners. But those buzzsaws, if they chop right in here, or even in here, could lead to massive damage. But we're gonna get a first howitzer, what do you get? That is gonna leave the cannon exposed again. Snipers now, I mean, that's unmissable, no? You cannot miss that. And it's probably... no, what? Okay, I think we're just forgetting how to snipe at this point. But the plasma beam is open. We're missing 9. Missed chance here for Clawless. Almost losing a plasma beam. And the ball is also not that well defended. Next howitzer volley still misses the first howitzer. Doesn't matter though, cannon still does get taken out. Yeah, I don't know, we're sleeping on the shotguns, I feel like. Yeah, I mean, those buzzers? Very scary. Finn still needs to open them. Wow. Finn not shooting actually at top base. It does quite a lot of damage and it's very dangerous, but we're just sleeping on the shotguns, and that is Lewis gone, eliminated from this map. Leaves his teammate in a pretty much, I mean, it's not unwinnable. It's still very losable for Finn if he loses this expansion, and Howitzer do get some value. Fast though. This is gonna have to be fast. Yeah, I mean, just sleeping on those shotguns, even with having the ping advantage here, is just not a thing you can do in pro play. No, it's not having the energy here, but those 2 howitzers, as I said, as I've mentioned, do have some potential of doing some great damage to Naruki, but of course, I'm not quite sure. Yeah, okay, there's no sniper on the right hand side, so the cannon, even if it was EMP, 7891 still could have done nothing about it, pretty much. Oh my god, 3 long is blinking. That could actually maybe be interesting if it breaks, because I feel like that could eventually sleep with collapse, because those 3 links are already blinking, but you see owls here, that's massive damage here. Next, oh, almost hitting the battery, but still enough defenses. And the Loki space not crumbling under the pressure. Very good. Oh. Teammate here almost taking out Nanuki's cannon, but I mean, that is not a base I want to be in if I'm playing. Yes, I do not want to live in a Christmas tree, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. But the cannon just basically open now. 2 howitzers, shotgun misses, but I don't know, Team 1 here with Alles Chef does love to take down their own howitzers for some reason. I guess they're just showing off right now. So what I'm missing here from 7891 is a sniper somewhere, because that could just do so much good. If a weapon is exposed, you can just insta-snipe it, even just dealing with these fire beams that are doing some great work actually. It's gonna be very crucial. But now the wood spam is not quite the aim that you need, that you want. Oh, what a beautiful head snipe out of 7891. Taking out a cannon from the rookie. And the howitzer follow-up almost makes it. But good shotgun here from Cloudus supporting his teammate. But I mean, those howitzers should not come through. Taking out one shotgun and another flag. Other shotgun still does stay. So now next volley, first one gets taken out, now the shotgun placed down. Now the mines are very under-defended, but only... Okay. We're opting to use the Moonshine active to slow down the Nuki's grind, but that plasma beam is massive as it head snipes one of 7891's cannons. And now 7891 just hoping for a door snipe. Is great firebeam cover. Would have pretty sure it would have taken out one of that cannon or thrust at that cannon. Yeah, I mean now the map control slowly is disappearing though for 7891. So is this match for the Chinese. Now Finn with orders. Howitzer is gonna come through though, and that is gonna be the collapse on the rookie. Beautiful shot out of 7891 with the Howitzer, and the Nuki there just sleeping on that, and now this still leaning more towards Wallace here, but with only two Howitzers, I mean with only two plasma beams really. Against those kind of weaponry that can shoot down, because those howitzers on the top base are probably just gonna get shot down by the shotgun. And now both players are gonna connect to their former teammates' bases, as this matchup does have more in it than it seemed. Now it's gonna come down to who can hold the expansion and who has more APM. I mean, Finn dying there is just... That's just classic. That's just a classic. Oh. Shotgun's doors, I mean the Moonshine doors, laser doors, were EMP'd. And therefore the shotgun couldn't shoot. Quite tragic. I'll probably change that. Or not. Yeah, but Cloudus is stabilizing the connection. As I say that though, the buzzers are gonna leave that in question. But seems to be stable enough. Yeah. Looks fine for now. Yeah, now I mean those howitzers basically do not have any anger. I mean at least this one definitely doesn't. Could probably just sell that and relocate them somewhere, or just turn them into cannons somewhere else. First howitzer shot down, second one shotgun. Yeah, it's get taken out. Trying the door snipe here fails though on the 3-down door. That Terrapin just taking itself out. Tragic. Does 7891 have it in him? Bidding two busters on the top base expansion. Not sure if that's the right move, I don't think it is. Yeah, and those howitzer now have a way shorter way of dealing more, of getting more value. But we see already here one plasma, a cannon in build up. Of course it's basically exposed. I mean it is exposed. So the question is 7891 gonna notice that? Probably not. It's very hard to notice it in these kind of high stress situations. Oh, beautiful shotgun door snipe. Yeah, but there's just not much to get here for 7891. Nanuki Steph just prolonging the timer would be my guess. I mean, the question is now for 7891, how can he get crucial damage on the board or can win this game? So the plasma beam is a very nice idea. Just door sniping this plasma beam is just gonna lead to a straight up kill in my... Okay, he does have to aim a bit, but if it's on the lower end, this is gonna take out Clawless, or maybe just going for a howitzer door snipe. Maybe that one just lets the howitzer fall down here and collapse the base, even though I don't think that that would actually happen. But as for now, that Plasma Beam is the biggest win condition for 7891 here. Cloud is not deleting the mines, probably gonna go for nukes. First howitzer comes through, second one also does, but that's basically the only damage it can do, those two. Missing by an inch. Beautiful AA out of 7891, but now those two cannons are gonna do consistent damage. But careful here with the shields, almost taking out Clawless's own plasma beams. I mean, both of them are on low HP. Oh! Massive howitzer! Taking out down Clawless's expansion. Bro, I mean, those howitzers are definitely MVP weapons of this match. And now this is a completely different game. As 7891 is basically out equaling Clawless, but also is still holding his expansion. But of course, Overdrive still has the potential in him. Yeah, now, but you don't even need a doorstep at this point now for the plasma beam. Howitzers can actually shoot at the top expansion now, which is massive. Also getting a magma beam, I like the idea. Those cannon can just try and sneak through this gap here. Of course, he doesn't know that, but it is a possibility. Yeah, but now this basically GG. That would be massive. Getting this map, stealing it away from the Germans would be very, very fun. Would love to see that. Howitzers basically do no damage. Oh, and Clawless falls 7891, winning the 2v1 against the German team. What a throw by Nanuki and Clawless, in my opinion. Both just letting down their foot from the gas. And as this map slips off their hands, and we're gonna have to go to map 3 as the deciding map. Yeah, just I'm gonna have to look at that replay, how Finn died. That was just beautiful. Yeah. Okay, so there it is. Takes on this on the expansion and it just drags down the whole base. Now we're gonna have to see. I wanna see this again. Now those two plasmas. A bit too fast here. Let's see here. Where is it? There it is. taking down both plasmas and with that the whole base. Wow. Masterclass out of 7891. Yeah, so Emiya's probably gonna host the decider game, as the ping is pretty stable so far, I'd say. Yeah, now vanilla 2v2. Wow, that was. You have to give it. You have to give that one to 7891. Oh, what a great match out of the Chinese. What a very bitter match for Team Alles. Yeah, I mean, that really just slipped right through their hands. Of course, sad for them, but for the viewers, just great. Yeah, so probably a coin flip is gonna decide who's gonna have the ping advantage in the last decider. Yeah, and I think I'm gonna do a quick break. We're gonna see us when the next match, when we get on the third map. So I'll see you until then. And here we're back in the next lobby. So Nanuki's gonna host with artificial host ping. We're gonna go straight into the test match. So yeah, I mean, what a game. 7891 is saying this is not how he wants to go down. Really, I mean, credits to him, but also really just losing a 2v1 like that. It wasn't even close. I mean, even in the 1v1s, even if Klaualis or Nanuki would have, if they had died, it should still be favorable for them with the commander stuff and the time that was left. Yeah, so great stuff from 7891. And as for the ping, 300 for Nanuki, only 60 for Klaualis, 250 for 7891, and of course Lou is just a special boy with a lot of ping. We see here some base design testing, just so he doesn't, so that Nanuki is not gonna collapse. Seems to be fine. Yeah, so yeah. Now the question is, what commanders are we gonna get? I'm gonna go with a... probably say an Armadillo Mirror matchup. Armadillo is from one of the commanders that still hasn't been picked yet for both sides. Architect is not a option for both teams, also not the greatest commander on the map. Overdrive, of course, still open for the Chinese team. Actually, no, for both teams. I forgot that they actually lost the second map, so both still available. Overdrive and Armadillo for both teams. Or are we gonna see Scattershot maybe? Scattershot also still kind of under the radar, I feel like. It's a very overlooked commander when it comes to vanilla. So we're gonna have to see. I'm not gonna expect that Metallic is gonna pick Scatter or the Chinese teams, but just in general, Scatter very overlooked on the map. So yeah, both of these teams, I rarely see them play Scatter, to be honest. But maybe it's time. One surprise pick for all the marbles. But I mean, my predictions for now, as for this matchup, have been correct. And on vanilla, I still see mit alles taking this one. But I'm not sure how the confidence is after losing that 2v1. What we're gonna have to see here, but the Chinese taking their sweet time. Probably thinking if they're gonna, which commander they're gonna take. I mean, I'm just gonna guess it's gonna be a Armadillo Mirror matchup. So yeah. Also, maybe if one of these teams is gonna play dirty, that's probably gonna go for Team Alashef, just because they have a bit, like they have Clawless with way less ping and is playing bottom base, of course. Is if Nanuki is gonna Howie stack on top base, because we all know how difficult, to say the least, it is to shotgun with 300 ping. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to see if we're gonna play dirty. And I mean, if the Chinese team is gonna do that, I mean, Clawless on the bottom base is probably just gonna spam some shotguns and it's gonna be fine. So yeah. Also, I'm quite interested to see the base designs for both bottom bases, because There is, of course, the setup, the two turbine setup, where you just build two lines of turbines and play lasers. But there's also the base design where you go for, I think it was 8 turbines in the back, which are back turbines, and opt for cannons, because lasers with 8 turbines is most of the time not enough for scaling. But we're gonna start into the third decider match, and let's see what both teams have prepared for us. Okay, so I'm totally off with my commander predictions. But yeah, so Spook against Pinch. Right hand side probably gonna go for just a normal eco pinch. He's just gonna have a better timing than the left hand side, and Spook is probably was just picked out of holy. But they probably just picked Spook because they were scared of any shenanigans that Team 2 could have on the decider. They don't want to be caught off guard. So, yeah, it's not a bad matchup per se. It's probably leaned a bit towards Spook, just because of the economy factor, but of course, Pinch with the 2.5% economy increase, it's not much, but it is a bit, as we see here, one extra metal for both bases in comparison. So we're gonna see red tech out of bottom base. And again, upgrade center first for Team 1. Quite an interesting spot to place down the upgrade center. I mean, it does kind of prevail as a buzzsaw protection, but if Lewis is gonna get 2 shotguns or even 1 shotgun, that can just be taken out. Would be a massive loss. Okay, so first AP sniper on the board. Okay, everybody probably gonna go for an AP sniper. And a factory tech out of Clawalis. And we have 2 buzzers from 7891. Those can get some value on the turbines for both sides. But of course, with these 2 AP snipers, it's pretty hard. As I say that, Clawless loses his AP sniper, so there's only 1 sniper left, which is currently being blocked by a sandbag. But yeah, but for the base designs, we see here just 2 lines probably of turbines. Now the buzzers are open. We are gonna go for the kill, but doesn't quite get it, but gets a shotgun in return. Still very good. That's 250 metal down the drain for Clawalis. Yeah, so the Chinese team here, Team 2, definitely getting on top in the Tier 1 battle. Not the greatest buzzer aim. I mean, technically Aiming 2 busters in here could be quite massive. But he's probably just gonna go for Clawless. No big damage, only getting a little shotgun. Now the first cannon for Lewis is ahead against Nanuki, which is not that surprising. I mean, it is equal, it is pinch after all. Fire Plasma Beam already though placed down for Clawless. Those two busters did slow 7891 down quite a bit. Oh yeah, but this Plasma Beam I've seen before, and I do not recommend placing it here. Because if you do defend yourself with like 3 or even 4 layers of foot spam, if that Plasma gets door sniped, you're gonna have to have a shit ton of stability, and a very good stability also with that. The Fire Plasma out of Clawless, while 7891 is just gonna stack 2 Plasma Beams, and here we have, as I've mentioned before, the Howitzer. So we are gonna play off the ping, but I mean 1 Howitzer against 3 cannons, maybe even 4 cannons. Yeah, just getting outscaled here pretty hard. But yeah, Lewis sold off his tier 1 tech though. So there's no shotgun tech for team 2, which is probably gonna be fatal if Nanuki gets to 2 howitzers. Yeah, but how the 4th cannon already down for Lewis. He's probably just gonna stay with 4th cannons because he has to get the energy protection first anyways for those. But it's also probably gonna have to use his cannons for anti-air, as anti-air. Now the first volley out of Clawless. Plasma not quite open, but that actually could lead to kill if aimed very precisely, but now the chance is gone. And first active for team 1. So they are gonna see those 4 cannons. Just gonna be very scary. Fire. Fire. Does Plasma have angle? I don't think it has angle. Yeah, it doesn't have angle. Doesn't quite do the damage, but of course, Lewis now with Pinch, you don't need as much energy production as you normally would. Gets 50% off, but as I say that, 7891 losing his first Plasma Beam, but Nanuki losing his Howitzer and almost collapses. That's some massive damage here. And with with Lewis now on to 4 cannons, all fully maneuverable, this is a pretty much done deal, I would say. But of course the Howitzer still with Fire Plasma can do some massive damage. Yeah, but now Nanuki doesn't have the energy production, also should deactivate those portals. Oh, and a Magna Beam. Actually completely overlooked that, but in a very risky spot. No, first Magna, second one. Oh my god, almost even takes down the Howitzer. Damn, some pretty good Magna combo right there. Let me see here out of the Chinese team. Taking down Clawless and probably the map with this one. Only one howitzer left for Team 1 with no turbines and no opportunity to even shoot it. Yeah, Finn probably just gonna set off his mines, try and get one shot out, and if that's not gonna do much damage, probably just gonna concede the map here. Howitzer would probably have to land like here to maybe try and go for the double kill, but that's very hard to see and to aim. Or you probably just want to go for here and let the cannon drop.